Good morning and Jai Hind to all my dear children. I, Sakshi Singh, welcome you all in today's English class. Well, dear children, in the previous classes, I shared two presentations on O Captain, My Captain, in which part one was about poet and the poem, and the second part it was about like poetic devices, theme, setting, everything. Okay, now here that is the second last part, means that is the third part. I am here to discuss about the entire poem, line by line explanation and the summarization stanza wise. Okay, so let's start. Okay, dear children, let's discuss first of all about the poetic structure. Okay, that you can see here, Oh Captain, My Captain. Okay, and who is the poet of this poem? That is the Walt Whitman. And you all know that Walt Whitman's masterpiece is this, Oh Captain, My Captain. Okay, and has been, you can say, analyzed in from the diverse aspects. Okay, so that we get to know about its moods, undertones, its theme, setting, everything. Okay, so now here I am going to start it with the poetic structure. So, dear children, if we talk about what is poetic structure, that is the poem "O Captain, My Captain" consists of three stanzas. Okay, in totality, like you can see here. Okay, that's why I have colored it into the three different colors. Consist of three stanzas in totality, having two quatrains in each. Two quatrains means what? See, a quatrain is a stanza consisting of four lines. Just see, you can see here. See, O Captain, My Captain, and just a minute. Yeah, this one, two, three, four, and the last one, two, three, four. Okay, so this is a quatrain, which is a stanza consisting of four lines. Well, now let's talk about its historical perspective. What is its historical perspective? See, you all know that it was authored by Walt Whitman. Okay, and it is alluded to President Abraham Lincoln's death in 1865. So you can say that it is, Oh Captain, My Captain, it's about, you can say, his poetic collection continuously was revised, okay, to add new poetic pieces from Waltman as a result. And you know what? That one thing also, you can say that Oh Captain, My Captain is an elegy. Okay, it is an elegy written by Walt Whitman, and when it was written in 1865. Okay, it was first published in sequel to Drum Taps, a collection of Whitman's poems inspired by the events of the Whitman's poems. Okay, and that is the events of that is American Civil War. Right? What is Civil War? Civil War means war between the, or you can say the war within a country. Okay, war within a country. Fine. So this is it's all about. Now let's start about its stats. So first of all I would like to tell you the summary of the first stanza. Okay. So the first stanza here it is, "O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wreck. The prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells are here, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead." So, dear children, here in this first stanza, actually the poet is saying, the poet is actually the one of the seller here. Okay, he is one of the seller. So this entire poem, if you talk about the theme, so this, this entire poem is about its entire poem is what? That is a grief. Okay, isolation. That is, you can say, or you can say it's individual versus the nation. How? We will discuss it that. Okay. Then you can say after individual and nation, then you can say it's like isolation, individual, it's grief of sailor, because a sailor is one of the, means a poet is one of the sailor in the ship. Well, now see here what it's saying that, you know what, the opening lines of the poem depict the scenes of rejoicing following a ship's victorious return to harbor. Okay, the speaker addresses the captain as he congratulates him on navigating the ship through a fearful, that is, frightening journey filled with wrecks. Wrecks means storms. So, after all these dangers, the ship has returned home, having won the prize of victory. So, the poet celebrates by greeting the victorious ship with cheers and bells. The ship is described as steady, but also battle hardened, grim and daring. So, thus emphasizing its bravery and longevity in the face of long dangers. Okay, so and this rhythmically regularity emphasizes the ceremonial actually. Okay, almost stately quality of this scene and its extended metaphor. Okay, and then line six, if you talk about that is oh bleeding drops of lead, uh, oh bleeding drops of red. So here, what do you think that suddenly he saw drops of red, drops of blood red, where on the deck? Okay, where his captain was lying. He was lying, yes, and he was cold, fallen cold and dead. Okay, so this is his first stanza. So now let's see. Here you can say that the speaker is actually shouting out to his captain that they have finally made it home from a fighting trip. They were on a ship, okay, that survived or weathered strong winds, either you say, or wreck, that is, you can say storms, difficulties, obstacles, it could be anything. So they are probably tired after such a grueling voyage, but apparently they have succeeded in their mission or what the speaker calls there, that is prize. So, whatever this mission or prize was, actually, but it wasn't easy to get, that you also know. The port is here, the bells are here, the people all exulting. Means you can say that so the speaker is a sailor on the ship and the boat is in sight of the land. And there are people on the shore cheering and ringing church bells as they approach. The people on the shore watch the boat come in. Although the keel, usually refers to a ridge that goes along the underside of the boat. So the word actually can also refer to the boat as a whole. It's not a part of the boat, but it refers to the boat as a whole. The sailor calls out again. He belts out the word heart, and this could mean that he is shouting out to his own heart because he was in pain. So the speaker is calling out to his own heart, then you have got an apostrophe on your hands. How? See, when you think heart, though you do think blood, so it turns out that there is a lot of it here. Okay, and all of a sudden, drops of lead, drops of blood are on the deck of the ship, and the speaker notices that his captain is dead. Okay, so now let's start with I hope that stanza one, it's clear to you all. Okay, so now let's start with the stanza 2. So in stanza 2, the lines are, O captain, my captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, and for you the bugle trills. For you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores a crowding, for you they call the swaying mass, the eager faces turning. So let's know, and let me say the summarization of this stanza. So, you know what? In the second stanza, the sailor actually implores the now dead captain to rise from the dead. Okay. The act of talking to the dead is known as apostrophe because apostrophe is a sort of it's a kind of a figure of speech. Okay, in English. Fine. So the reason being the people assured await their prized captain to lead the way and stamp his mark on history. The crowd is jubilant as they celebrate using a number of devices such as raising flag in victory, holding flowers, and cheering for the captain. The crowd is getting restless as anticipation rise in order to catch a glimpse of their ship's captain, Alice. He is no longer with them. So, in actuality, if you talk about the ship's captain, is not his actually biological father, but truly his respect and reverence for him stands greater than his actual father. So the sailor looks at the fallen comrade and wishes the night and wishes this nightmare was just a dream. As the reality sets in, the sailor realizes the damage is irreparable. Okay, so now let's start line by line. So now the sailor comes to the dead captain's side and begs him to please rise again. Well, the speaker says, all the people are here only for you. So please get up and see this celebration on the shore. The people are cheering for you only. So the sailor lists the way that what are the different things that the people are doing. Okay, they are uh, means their flag is flung, they are raising the flag, they are playing horns, they are holding flowers, and they are calling out to the captain. To say that the crowd has eager faces, which is not just actually their faces that are eager really, their faces are used to represent the whole of their excited attitude toward this captain. So they think he is a righteous dude. Last four lines. The sailor takes the dead captain in his arms and calls the captain father, although the man probably isn't it really his father, but as just now said to you. So still the speaker has intense feelings for this man whose head is on his arm. So that's probably not a relaxing position to lie in. But sadly, the captain doesn't feel the discomfort because he cannot feel because he is dead. So the speaker says he must be dreaming. He can't accept the reality that the captain died. Now, the stanza 3, last stanza. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored, safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object one. Exult, O shores and ring o bells, but I, with mournful tread, walk the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. What is summarization? See, the sailor actually looks sadly at the dead captain, in the pure agony. He observes his lips to have paled that of a corpse. The captain fails to respond his cries of helplessness. The liveliness from the captain's face has drained now. Okay, and his pulse has stopped and he is unlikely to move from now on. So the ship has landed safely in the harbor with its anchor thrown in. The voyage is now complete. The sailor reminisces about the trip to be extremely arduous, yet they cross the line with the trade off. So the concluding lines you can say of the poem explicate the fact that sailor has some bad news to share with the awaiting crowd. He appeals directly to the loud cheers and ringing bells for the much awaited captain. Okay, so let's start with the line by line. So the dead captain, unsurprisingly, doesn't respond to the sailor cries. So the speaker focuses on the captain's lips to represent his general state of death. Okay, sadly, the color has left the captain's face and he has no pulse. Here, will means the ability to do something, but he unable to move. The ship finally arrives safely in the harbor and drops its anchor as the trip is done. The speaker reminds us that the trip was difficult and dangerous, but the mission was a success. Victor ship means victorious ship. Why is it victorious? Because it's won its object, that is, it met its goal. So, last now, and now that the speaker is in harbor, he calls out to the shores and the bells to party down. Since neither shores nor bells are actually alive, okay, really though the speaker uses the shores as a symbol to represent the crowd of people standing there. He wants actually them to keep cheering and celebrating the homecoming of the ship and the success of the mission. While the crowd celebrates, the sailor remains on the ship, pacing sadly next to his dead captain. So now this is that's all for today. This is all summarization of each stanza and the paraphrasing of stanza. So now see after this explanation, now you would be able to understand that what it's a theme. Theme you can say it's isolation, grief. Why was it? How you could relate with these themes to the poem. Okay, so I hope that you understood this poem very well. Okay, so with this, we are towards the end of the course of the chapter, that is the literature part. Okay, so till then, take care, everyone. Bye bye.